Welcome back to the show. We are joined by the co-founder of Health Navigators, Liz Curran, joining us once again here.
Thanks for having me back.
The 10 steps. How do you start doing them?
What we found over the years working with so many different people is that there are four things that we call them our four pillars to
Mhm.
really make sure people have these solid before they dive into making lifestyle changes. And they're just really nice practices. So I'll share those with you now. The first one is developing a self-compassion practice. And not a lot of people really know so much about self-compassion. It is an element of self-love, but self-compassion is unique in the way that it really allows each individual to really connect deeply with themselves and have a compassionate attitude. So really looking at your life as if you were looking at it being your best friend's life. So if you're looking at it as if it weren't you, would you approach things differently? Would you be kinder to yourself? Would you speak
Yeah,
differently to yourself if you were in fact thinking of it as like
true.
the same tone as talking to a friend? So that's really important because you have to value yourself if you want to make these kinds of changes.
Got it. You really do. Is this one of your podcast discussions?
Our new season kicks off next week on Wednesday, April 3rd, and we will have our first episode for season 2. It's our second season we're really excited about. And actually, what we will be adding to the podcast this season is we have our healing stories that we have every Wednesday that get released. And then on Mondays, we're going to have our coaches kind of factors in action where Carla and I just come on our own and we do individual podcast episodes, really diving into these kinds of things that come up in the interviews and helping people really understand what they are and how that they can implement them. So we are excited to add that into the podcast. And yes, self-compassion will be one of those topics. Another one of those topics that I am really passionate about with helping women and men find their voice in setting boundaries.
Got it.
So setting healthy boundaries was very hard for me. And when I found the information, I was reading books, I was doing, workbooks and journals and absorbing all of this information. And it was so powerful and transformative to me to help me find my voice. And it was after I had done the work in self-compassion to allow myself to prioritize myself. And then I was able to set boundaries with people that might have been hard to do in the past if I wasn't prioritizing my own well-being.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Does that resonate at all?
It does, of course, doesn't it
Yeah,
all? I
right.
love this. Do you people
Right.
call in on your show as well?
No, no. Occasionally I'll get to hop on to other people's podcasts and
Yeah.
summits and different things and I get to do those live. I love doing live Q&A so much because it's just so much fun to be able to talk to people about, questions on the spot. I love that kind of stuff. So
Um,
feel free to reach out and, quiz me live.
no, I like it. I love that when we get callers and stuff here.
Yeah.
Sometimes you open up the phone lines as well. It's so cool because you hear what people are thinking, what they want to know
Right.
about. We're organic, we're here together, but it's good to bring someone else into the mix to chat with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, especially these topics because they really hit home. Not to say men don't need this kind of work because absolutely they do, but women take on so much between
Hmm.
there were just natural caregivers and nurturers. It's that whole like hunter-gatherer, right? We birth children out of our bodies, and there's so many different things that we do to hold the family unit together in addition to having a career or even just full-time parenting is a huge job. So there's so many
It
different
is.
things where we are constantly asked to put other people and other things first. And no truer statement than when you're on the airplane and the flight attendant says, put your own mask on before helping a small child or someone else. Because if you don't, you're going to go help that small child and you may pass out. And then what is the small child going to do if you aren't available because you didn't give yourself the oxygen first? So diving into that concept of you have to take care of
Hmm.
you to be able to have the energy and the bandwidth to take care of others. And that doesn't just mean kids, that doesn't mean spouses, it means parents, it means friends, just being a supportive person. So when you have that kind of personality, and I will say that sometimes research has shown that there's a type C personality. We have type A and type B personalities, but type C is that kind of cancer personality where people tend to be people pleasers. So they will always overextend and say, yes, 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 I will help you before even thinking about what they need to help themselves with. So finding that self-compassion and learning how to say no in a kind and constructive way, it's very empowering to find your voice. And I remember there was a time somebody was asking me what I wanted to do for my birthday.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, I don't know, whatever is easiest for my whole family. And they're like, well, no, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I actually couldn't even think about what I wanted because I just wanted what was going to make everybody happy. So then I would enjoy myself. So if everybody was happy, I would be happy. But the question really struck me for months. I was like, why couldn't I think about what I wanted to do? And that's kind of at the beginning of when I started diving into this work myself, just looking it within and seeing, yes, I do have a lot of things that I need to set boundaries around so that I can really find myself and my way.
Well, thank you so much. So it's been an honor. If someone wants to reach out to you, could you share again how we could do so?
Yep. Please visit us at healthnavs.com. You can visit us on Instagram and Facebook at Health Navigators. And on YouTube, we are at Health Navigators Official. And you can listen to our Radical Remission Stories That Heal podcast to hear healing stories from people who have overcome the odds of their cancer diagnosis or their life-changing diagnosis, and also healers who have worked with these people and have seen these at least 5 radical remissions in their practice.
All right. So if you want more good info, you want to keep following Liz and I, just click on the link down below.